What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Happy, what day is it? Tuesday? Is it it's a freaking Tuesday? Yeah, what? Wednesday? No, Tuesday. Well, I gotta remember Wednesdays are waiver days for my fantasy football. And that's how I'm gonna have to remember from now on. How we doing, everybody? Check in, check in. Happy day. Yay. Happy day. Nah, it's raining outside. It's kind of cold. Kind of a bad day today in Minnesota, but we got to stay resilient. Anyways, I got some sun today. No, I just got a haircut. Yep, there's no sun to be had today. I'm still tan from Chicago, apparently. I don't know. I got a tan out there. That's about it. I mean, the police came out once, but that's about all I got, and which is wild because I had to go to Illinois for that. Didn't even have to go south. Worked out. Yeah, cold, nasty day today here in Minnesota. Just rainy, cold, ligma day. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Doing well. We had a great night of gaming last night, and you know, we're gonna go through all the latest news and events that's going on around here, especially with the National Guard being activated in Portland, which is why I really went the first time. I mean, we went to go cover the the protest against ICE, but what really sparked me to pull the trigger and go to Portland was because of the National Guard, obviously. Because I thought it would have just been like a more well-rounded reason to go there, which we went anyways, and it worked out. But like, hey, the ICE protest is happening, bang, got that to cover. National Guard out there, I'm gonna go cover that too. But then the National Guard, they had a TRO, so I was still there, and honestly, it ended up working out because obviously it gave attention to the protest and the protest against ICE, but now there's like so many layers now of it. Obviously you have the protest against ICE and the federal government, but then you have this like subsection niche of MAGA out there that we kind of saw from home here. We had watched a couple of their streams from here and try to figure out like who's who out there and what's what, and it was kind of easy to find out really fast. It was really easy to tell who's who. It really felt like, at least for who was out there, at least we already know kind of some of the streamers from 2020, but honestly, like every single one of them are done streaming now except for Sol Luna, who's on TikTok. But we got Portland, but Portland Andy made the no list out there. I said I haven't seen him agitate anyone, but he's on the right-wing list for right-wing streamers. But I only really, my thing is if they get in protesters' faces and then agitate them directly, and then make themselves a victim, and then that's the standard for me. Right-wing streamers in general, like, yeah, I mean, obviously protesters will have a disagreement with them, but that's up to the protest to decide that. But for me, it's like if they go beyond just being a right-wing streamer or content creator and they're just covering the event, and then they make themselves the news, they make themselves a victim, and then go on right-wing media and then cry. And that's not anything other than working. Like, I don't know what that really is. It's like a traitor. I don't know. Traitor to like the people of America. It's deep. It's really deep. Because this behavior is like beyond. Like, even if you're conservative, you should respect the freedom of speech of people that are on the left. Like, just like the left does, like the fucking left. Left, whatever. The protests against ICE, there are MAGA out there standing there. And in Chicago, there's a dude who fucking literally just paces in the protest. And he has his giant ass Trump flag and his bright red hat. And he just fucking he just paces in that thing. In the middle of it. Hey, credit to that dude. He's right in the fucking middle of the protest. But like, is the protest physically stopping him? Are they like, no, not doing shit? The only ones that the protesters started to respond to and like kind of play fire with fire, and what they're doing is like the specific agitators that are known media operatives for the federal government. And I think that's fine, because that's different. That isn't like a right winger going in there, even a MAGA. Because in Chicago, that wasn't just a concern. That dude was MAGA as hell, full Fox News MAGA, like just angry MAGA for sure. That guy wasn't just a normal conservative, but they didn't fuck with him. Even the protesters tried to even talk with him. They were walking with him, just talking to him. in his little fucking pacing that they were doing. The only time that the protest in like Chicago, for example, like tried to stop a protester, including myself, because he was attacking a veteran directly. There was a veteran and his family there, and he was a major, and this dude, based upon his rack, has done a significant amount for the military and for our country. And you know, hey, I don't give a if you are a veteran and this is coming from somebody that's also served, I don't give a fuck if you wear your uniform. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And nobody else should. If you are like a veteran and you have served and you're out, and you have your DD 214 and you're no longer in, and if you wear your fucking uniform, I mean, like I'm not going to do that. But if you want to do that, like, you go ahead. The only agreement I would have is if this was an active soldier, an active serving soldier, which is, again, you cannot do that. It doesn't matter what the protest is. Doesn't matter if it's the most morally justifiable protest possible. And like, oh my God, they need to, like, no, they can't. That is against the standard. So if they're active duty, serving actively, and it doesn't mean you can't go to a protest. You can be active duty military and still go to protests. You just can't be in uniform. And that makes perfect sense, because if you're like, a protester, or even just like authorities, maybe the law enforcement, could view you as like, you know, like you're an active serving soldier, like out here, like what, or in the kind of the situation we have right now, we're having the National Guard getting sent into cities. The military has this standard to avoid the very thing that we're seeing right now of like people like, why is there a soldier standing in our crowd? Which literally, I mean, you would be if you're active duty, you're a serving soldier and you're in fucking uniform at a protest. So you can't do that. It's against the standard. It's against AR 670-1. I mean, I'm with that for sure. But this soldier that was out there, this veteran that was out there, is out. He was retired, and he was wearing a outdated uniform now. He's wearing the dress blues, which is what I wore. But the Army is now on pinks and greens. I'm kind of jealous. They're wearing the World War II style dress uniforms now, which it just looks way better. It looks way cooler, more professional than our fucking police uniforms we had. We looked like the police. It was the worst. I mean, they made it work, whatever. Like, when you make NCO, it can kind of look clean a little bit with the yellow on there, but beyond that, it looks like I hated it. We looked like cops when our dress uniforms in the Army for like my generation when I served. So they're back to pinks and greens now, and it's better. And that is the active uniform. And even in your dress uniform, you can't go to protests either. So either in your camouflage uniform or your dress uniform, doesn't matter what branch you're in, you can't go to protests in your uniform. And it just makes sense. Duh. So veterans though I don't give a fuck. And no one else would either, honestly. The only people that were trying to do that was this MAGA, this I don't even know, he was just brain stupid. And he was just wanted to scream at a veteran that day. And the protest was not going to just let that fly, and just kind of stood there. They weren't like, they weren't like, this dude was going on a rant and he was going nuts, but they weren't like putting their hand over his mouth or like trying to like physically like tackle him and stop him from yelling at this veteran. Like, you know, it's kind of like a war of words there of like, hey, you know, you're not about to lambaste this dude for being out here with his family when he served in the military. But in general though, like vets, I mean, just for me, just to, I don't know, do what you want to do what you want to do. But like, we have plenty of shit you can wear. You can wear your, where's my shit? You know, get one of these, you know, just get one of these hats or something. You know, you don't have to do all that. Plus, like, you have to wear your uniform and shit. And like, I get what you're trying, I get what the message is, but like, you can do it a little less. But like, this is cool too, though. Like, get some. I don't know, if you served on a ship, that's kind of cool. That's kind of like rare merch. So like, if you're in the Navy, you can wear your own ship's merchandise, which only you can have, and people that served on your ship. But I don't know, just get a fucking hat, and I don't know, just go out there with your hat on or something, with your veteran hat, and people will love that, and they'll see that just as important as like wearing a uniform. But again, if you want to wear a uniform, I'm not going to tell you not to. And I mean, I did. If I'm going to stand up for you, if you were going to wear it. But like, you can just expect losers like that dude to, you know, come at you for it, and it's going to suck. But you know, I'm sure you'll be fine. nothing to worry about if you're a veteran. But you know, hey, there's plenty of other things you can wear if you want to go out there, or you don't even have to wear any veteran shit. Like I don't know, just be yourself. It's up to you. Do what you want. Do what you want, but that's your freedom to do so. But anyway, so that happened in Chicago. You had some weird dude that was yelling at a veteran, but beyond that, between those two things, you had Cam Higbee walking around in the crowd the whole time, and he still is. He's just like in there. They're walking, and they know who he is, and they play the speaker next to him, and the sirens going off. Okay, because Cam is trying to do agitation propaganda, and he's trying to get protesters in clips and then send it to the federal government to then have the federal government specifically target that person. So I feel that it's the protesters' rights to protect themselves, you know, and try to agitate back if they're going to agitate the agitation. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you want to be out there and you're right wing and you just have some right wing feelings, they're not even gonna know who the fuck you are. I'm just being serious. They'll be like, and I'm hoping honestly the protest should like they should just leave the regular right wingers alone that are just kind of there standing there, because I mean then that gives them less of a reason to bitch, but like they're gonna bitch anyways, they're gonna cry anyways. But if you just keep focused on the agitation ones, like the Cam Higbees and the Nick Sorters and the Nick Shirleys and the Matt Retardios and others, you know, like those ones, like there's a niche now for that, and you can like put your full energy into those specific people. But like if you start just, you know, any right winger though, that's gonna hurt you in the messaging. Just being real about it. Because the right wingers that are out there are probably protesting with the No Kings. They're also just, they have nothing to influence really. I mean, who are they influencing? The right wing media isn't using their shit either. They want people that are out there making themselves a victim. They're not, if someone's out there just right wing and they're just standing there filming, not a single media source is interested. I mean, I'm being real. It's their freedom to do that, and I support that. And honestly, it's cool because then they can see what's going on. But not a single fucking right wing media major source is going to pick up on what they're doing and try to like make propaganda out of it. So like maybe less energy on those people and more on like the Nick Sorters, which is clearly like the fucking one that can get the National Guard sent to Portland, which he's the one that's doing it. He continues to go back to Portland, continues to lie about the situation, continues to say it's a war zone, but others have joined him in doing so. The Matt Retardio on Speak the Truth, he's a big one now. He's made the list though. They do have a list where they have like a I don't know why I had this on my screen. I just can't keep getting over it. This is how he really ate that banana. He ate, dude, and then he licked the fucking spoon afterwards. Like, you know, look at, wow, dude. This is Gunther Eagleman eating a banana. This is how we're starting the videos today. It's like, god damn, dude. Like, why did you have to, wow. You know, like he opened his mouth so wide and like the tongue came out. And then he like licks his spoon afterwards. Like the banana's gone, but you know what I mean? What the heck? Like, what the heck? I've never seen a person eat a banana like this. And then is that like his personal spoon? Does he have like a person? Because that isn't some shit Starbucks gives you. That's like he's got a personal spoon. And look at how long it is too. Why is it an extendo like that? He does this often. Then he got the extension spoon to make sure that thing can hit the bottom of that banana. He can hit the shaft, the whole fucking thing. That is a long ass spoon, dude. Where do you find that? You gotta order that. There you go. When you eat a banana, do you lick your banana spoon? Should we do, we gotta do a poll. Okay, when you eat a banana, do you lick your banana spoon like Gunther? You guys lick it? We're gonna go yeah, hell yeah, no, and hell no. Yeah, he's got a special banana spoon. Now I completely forgot what I was. White House is getting straight. Now I'm completely thrown off. I was just scrolling X and like that's the shit that pops up now. So it's like just fully thrown off now. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is new. Thank you, Amanda. You guys should go follow Amanda more too for solid written journalism. She's like one of the last bastions of written journalism out here. Okay, so this was just posted while I was getting ready for the stream. Oh boy.
Mr. President,
yeah, please.
An appeals court recently ruled that you can send the National Guard in Portland, Oregon. Do you feel unfettered to send the National Guard into whatever city you want now?
Well, I guess that was the decision. I can send the National Guard if I see problems. I looked at Portland over the weekend. The place is burning down.
The place is burning down.
Just burning down. We weren't there.
Chat, this next trip, I gotta wake up early and I'm just gonna walk around Portland and just be live and just do shit. So that's gonna happen on this channel. So like we'll be out there at the ice building for sure. I'm just gonna be walking around Portland though. We're gonna put in some miles and just fucking walk around. It's so ridiculous.
We didn't spend much time there because we were waiting for that decision. But the court probably maybe that influenced the court. But you look at a place like Portland, it's ridiculous when they say that there's no problem. The place was on fire.
It was on fire. Portland was on fire.
Over the weekend. We won the case in Court of Appeals. I think it was the Ninth Circuit, so that's pretty good. And a very strong opinion that we have the right to use the National Guard. You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble.
God, brother.
Well, that's. You know.
I'm not acting surprised. It's just part of this administration. It's a feature. It's a feature. It's gonna get worse.
How I got elected. One of the reasons I got elected. Yes.
It's one of the reasons I got elected. To send the National Guard into cities, which I mean, yes. That's not what MAGA thought, because MAGA just believes what he says. So MAGA brain was like, I don't know anything about Project 2025. What is even that? And MAGA was like, yeah, Trump didn't even know about it. Yeah, he doesn't know about it. So it's just fake left media, Soros media again. There it was. Okay, this is what they voted for. They just had he did a Houdini trick for him. So stupid. This is so dumb. This is how dumb Russian propaganda is too, by the way. You think the Russians have intense super media that's like, no, it's like this. For the last 3 years, just like ruining my brain with Russian propaganda. Now we have to live with it in our administration again. Nice agents outside. This is also follow Aliyah, who's also a solid independent journalist you guys need to follow. In the middle of all this, ICE agents are assembling outside of a federal ICE plaza ICE building with protesters after crowds faced off during a raid. Canal Street. This is in New York then. Yeah, I have a Twitch. I got Facebook. We got all that. Yeah, I added like all of the emotes and everything on Twitch. Like you guys have emotes now. You should have badges next to your name. Everything's done. No more gutter chat. I'm pulling you guys out of the gutter, okay? BioClean rapid response in the city's cleared up the ice camp. Yeah, I saw all that. We'll go through all that, but I did see that. And the protest has started to put a encampment back up out there. Propaganda doesn't need to be sophisticated. It just needs to be constant. Exactly. Just like consistency. That's all it is, really. Like if you every single day, yeah.
Stay safe, man.
You could say the sky is red, and if you say it every single fucking day, you know, someone will start to believe it, you know. Twitch, I've returned home with the milk. I'm not leaving you guys. I returned. Okay. Anyways, I had a bunch of bookmarks. I was completely thrown off by that Gunther Eagleman video. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? I'm still thrown off by that. ICE posted this, or ICE, yeah, same thing. Homeland DHS, Homeland Security, Federal Protection Service, whatever they're all their names now. They posted this one. The enemies are at the gates, guys. They posted that one an hour ago. Join ICE. The enemies are at the gates. It's like a fucking Reddit community, but it's our federal government. Oh boy. This rioter, here's another one from the DHS from Portland. This rioter obstructed law enforcement and blocked the driveway so vehicles could not enter or exit the ICE facility. Where's the rioter, number one?
You just don't you fucking tell me what to do, you fucking cunt! No, man, this is not your fucking property! Yeah. I'm glad you know it too. Hey, assholes! Dance on your goddamn brain! Hell yeah, I hope somebody kills you guys! We should thank you.
Where are the riots? Oops. God dang it.
Don't talk!
You missed it.
Beat the fucking shit out of you! Hey guys, let me help him. Hey.
Wow. Where are the riots? Where are the rioters? The individual with their teddy bear and their binky is a rioter? Okay.
Don't talk!
And kind of plain evil, honestly.
Yeah, that's good.
Do not block. Please block that.
Wow.
Calm down now, okay? Calm down.
Is this the individual that's blind that's out there too?
Calm down.
There's nothing in my socks, dumbass. My feet are too small. The fuck do you think I'm gonna put in there? God, you guys are fucking dumb. What? Hey, what? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me, nigger. Talk to me. Yeah, that's right. By my hands. Come on. Come on, pig.
Jesus. That was crazy. What a crazy, wild series of events that was. Okay. Oh boy. He blatantly disobeyed law enforcement. Of all the people that they grabbed out there. I mean, nothing's justified with the people that they grabbed. Or the people that they grab at all. But it's like... It's crazy. Got his teddy bear. Why the hell is there a blind man in the freaking street outside? Why is blind people can't just be in the street, I guess, and to protest? Blind people can't protest? Where else do you expect from JD Vance? He was holding up a phone recording. That makes him not... He's the one walking around with the stick. Wow, he threatened ICE agents. Wow, the blind 5 foot nothing individual that, you know, clearly has their thing going on. Being out there in the protest, like the most harmless person because they're swearing at the cops. Is that what it is? Wow. That's so pathetic. That's who Matt Tardio says is like a Hamas Antifa super terrorist. Hamas, Al Qaeda, Taliban. That's who's on the level of who Matt Tardio and others like him have fought in the Middle East. You also have this. Let me see. Where did I start this? Started yesterday. Pam Bondi about the National Guard. Today, the Ninth Circuit Court found that POTUS has the right to deploy the National Guard to Portland, Oregon, where local leaders have failed to keep their citizens safe. This follows hard work by the Justice Department attorneys and helps reaffirm a simple truth. President Trump is the commander-in-chief. He threatened them. Oh boy, wow. The blind 5'0" person with their teddy bear and their binky swearing at the cops. Wow. With their threats. The blind individual too. Wow. And the cops have like Palantir and Skynet with them. And like a full military arsenal at their disposal. But yeah, the blind 5'0" teddy bear man is for sure definitely so threatening. This follows, so the Ninth Circuit found that POTUS has the right to deploy the National Guard to Portland, Oregon, where local leaders have failed to keep their citizens safe. This follows hard work by the Justice Department attorneys and helps reaffirm a simple truth. President Trump is the commander-in-chief. We will continue fighting and winning in court to defend President Trump's agenda. Skill Center says, I've seen more trouble outside a British pub than in Portland. I've seen more trouble at a softball game. It's what I told you guys. The DHS comes out and gasses and flashbangs the fuck out of the crowd, makes content out of it, and then the right wing and people that aren't paying attention go, "Wow, that looks like chaos." Yeah, even Nick Sorter did it. He did exactly what I told you guys. Wow, that looks bad. It's a perception. But there's no context as to why it looks like that given. He's posting like every 5 minutes now. Where was it? Yeah, Antifa rioters throwing exploding munitions and tear gas at DHS. Yeah, this is why protesters need to be aware of these people. It's what a Uno reverse. And then he just directly one of the little media fucking losers that are getting the National Guard sent places. It's not like little freedom of observation and speech that they're doing. It's their freedom of speech to be this way in America. But they're not being objective. They're not independent. They're not trying to be journalists. They're lying. This is incredible. What an incredible lie. And then they add their take. This is a war zone. And then the call to action. We need the National Guard. The lie, the spin, the call to action. That's how MAGA media works. Lie, spin, call to action. Because you have to act on this shit. You gotta act on the lies, otherwise they're just lies. You gotta dress it up and make it real for them. So as I told you guys, because let's go. Thank you for following iGaming. As I told you guys, now when you film from the DHS perspective, when you see all this, it just looks like that's what the protest is doing, right? Because that's what MAGA media is doing. They're embedding with the cops, and then it looks crazy. The visuals are nuts. Looks like a movie scene. I had people that are like completely tuned out of like current events, and like I was taking pictures of Portland, and they were like, "That looks like a movie scene." I was like, intentional by MAGA and the administration. They're out there actually filming content like while this is happening. And while I was there, they were adding smoke grenades too. I think I posted a couple photos of that. They had smoke grenades out there just to add some extra little color. Yeah, there you go. Wow, look at that. It's like Battlefield 6. I posted more than that. There you go. They had orange. Yep. It's like on the release of the release day hype. EA, the Saudis probably paid for this or something. from the money they made off of all those comedians that sold out, including Bill Burr. Sorry to see that, but that sucks. Look at that. New Battlefield 6, y'all. So they're out there doing that. Obviously, sick photos for sure. Cool pictures. Wow, that looks so cool. Like I did a black and white version too. Photo goes so hard. But that's it. That's why. Because the photos go hard. The pictures go hard. It's propaganda. So they can go out there and people that are dumb, which is a lot of people, the majority of people, will come away with what, oh, Jesus, is that Agent Orange? The protesters fucking, geez, look at the police are under siege out there. And then they even put themselves on the rooftop just to like sell that too. Like, yeah, we're on the rooftop. So this is like Vietnam out here. This is like Vietnam. It's like World War. It's basically World War II. Okay, here's New York City really quick. Arrests and clashes as protesters stand off with ICE agents during a raid on Canal Street.
You guys gotta chill. Can you chill? Public street, man.
This just happened in New York City. This is going to continue. Like the protests against them will just start happening. People are following where they're going. It's called we call it a little ice fishing. They call it a little bit of ice fishing out here. It's getting colder outside. People are tracking where they're at and figuring out where they're going because they're going into businesses and places of work in broad daylight and like going out there and tear gassing communities now. And so this is just a pop-up this is just people out there and then they start protesting the feds out there. This wasn't a planned thing at all. It just started fucking people up in broad daylight like they have been, and then a crowd gathers, and then in Chicago recently they gassed an entire neighborhood, which they've just been terrorizing Chicago. ICE has been, but they had a pop-up protest, like just the community neighborhood that were just like, what the hell are y'all doing? And then ICE just tear gassed them all and flashbanged the neighborhood when they were in there, walking around like this. That's no go. Look at how they all wear different shit. There's no standard. This guy doesn't have a mask on, at least. Probably doesn't have probably like while still ICE agent, isn't probably doing anything illegal. With the ones that are doing shit that are super illegal are the ones that are putting masks on. For sure. Not to say that the ones that aren't though, and that's why it's important for like cop watchers and people that are watching all this, but I'm saying for sure the ones that are committing like crimes against humanity and are taking your humanity away with these arrests are the ones putting masks on. For sure. Okay? Because if you're not doing anything, well, I mean, in general, people are going to be against you because you're ICE, but toughen up. Suck it up. You chose that job. You chose that one. But if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't have anything to fear. Other than obviously just people not liking you for being ICE or being a Fed, which that's their freedom to do so. But if you're not, it's crazy. There goes the White House. So, raided the Capitol, tearing down the White House, just Trump shit. Just, you know what I mean? MAGA was like, it's just going to be the driveway. He's just tearing down the driveway. Meanwhile, White House down. They made 2 movies about the White House getting attacked, and it took Trump to take power again to actually see it demolished. There you go. There it goes. There's what can you do? This how we're gonna watch it. Professional shit spreaders and provocateurs broadcasted to Fox News. Yeah, we see these Nick, Cam, Jonathan Cho, Katie Davis Court, and Nick Shirley. They all made the list. Which is really just flyers letting people know, like, hey, you probably shouldn't talk to these people. They come up to you, they're trying to get you clipped. This is in Portland, but they got their social media accounts, their usernames, so that way you know and you can be aware. Because so many people go out there and they're like, I'm gonna talk to this person because it's their freedom of speech, and then a protester will tell them, that was Cam Higbee. And then the protester that talked to him, like in good faith, goes, "Oh no, fuck! I just talked to that person," because they don't know, because it's hard to keep up with all of it and to know who's who. So I mean, yeah, if you want to talk to these people, it's up to you, but just expect to be on Fox News later. Your choice. I think it's an easy one. ICE protests in Portland, far-right content creators, Bolo. Thomas, that's Tommy for Trump, 420. They have his arrest charges, arrested October 6th and 9th, assault in the 4th, a misdemeanor, disorderly conduct 2, it's a misdemeanor. Yeah, Harold Alton Smith, the Ark Assassin, 93 on X, arrested on October 9th and 11th. And then they got Katie, Nick Shirley, Matt Tardio, Frank, who's the Sam Jackson Django character out there. And you got who else? They got it around the corner. There you go. Thomas Allen, Harold Smith, Honey Badger Mom, she was such a comedy to watch. And most of the time she was just standing there, but she took action into her own little hands one night and went to the cops, and it was so funny to watch. She's like, they're surrounding Katie. Go. And then the cop was like, all right, let me take your story down. They're surrounding her. And then she waddles back over, and then Katie is just kind of standing there trying to make propaganda of how she could become a victim the fastest. It was just such a wild thing to watch. You got Jonathan Cho, Timu Glenn. Okay, Timu Glenn out there. You got the blonde chick, the girlfriend of Nick Sorter. I think they're at least fucking for sure. Nick Sorter and this blonde chick, they're all over each other in a cringe little high school thing way. It was weird. Usually a grown adults when they like each other. I mean, you can do that, but in private usually, but in public streets. I mean, they were doing this thing where they're leaning into each other and pushing each other and shit. It was so fucking weird, but they're at least for sure together, doing stuff. Black Rebel, yeah, Cam Higbee, of course. We've met Cam Higbee. You guys know who Cam Higbee is now. The black conservative preacher, Nick Sorter, obviously. He's the number one of all this. You got him and then Nick Shirley, and then probably Katie, and then probably Cam. And then I don't know who's that last one. Oreo Express is still around. Jeez, that's a classic. Now wait, what? Where's the black dude they had that made it Oreo Express? Is it just the white guy now? They had a black guy, white guy combo of right wing, and they called themselves Oreo Express. That's why it was called that. What happened there? Did he leave? So you go. Just be aware that those people are out there to get you arrested. He said National Guard in Portland again. Yeah, he's activated them. There's still a fight, though. There's still a fight in the court. They've been activated, but not yet deployed. There was a 2-1 ruling by the U.S. Court of Appeals of the Ninth Circuit. Determined that Trump has the authority to federalize the Oregon National Guard troops under federal law. Despite that ruling, though, there is a separate federal restraining order that's still remaining in effect. That's why I didn't like go to Portland like right now, because there's still like a legal fight blocking the deployment of those troops into Portland for now. Okay, so he has to win that one too. The state of Oregon has filed legal objections, arguing that the deployment would violate state sovereignty. It's under ongoing legal review, and no troops have entered Portland yet. Like, they're not deployed on the streets. So that's why I'm like, didn't book a flight, and I'm like not there right now. Probably this weekend, because we got to see. I think there's going to be a decision on tomorrow in the court. That's why he wasn't like too excited today about it. Okay, so who are the Oregon National Guard troops training in Portland? Trump administration won its appeal to deploy the National Guard, but the troops aren't in Portland just yet. On Monday, 2 of the 3 judges in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals determined that President Trump is within his rights to federalize the Oregon National Guard. The third judge, however, is seeking a further review by 11 members rather than just 3. In the meantime, 142 Oregon National Guard are still at Camp Riley on the Oregon coast, with another 200 California National Guard. Because when I went there, they were still, I mean, they got sent there. They're just at the base right now waiting. It's not like when the TRO got put into place, the guard was like left. Like they've been stationed there the whole time, just waiting. They're at Camp Withycombe in Happy Valley. According to a memo released by the Oregon Military Department, the Oregon troops are made up of 20 law enforcement workers, 14 full-time students, 12 protective service specialists, 10 construction workers, and 11 maintenance workers. Other civilian roles include healthcare workers, farmers, and administrative specialists. Officials with the Oregon Military Department previously told Coin6 News that both groups have completed crowd control and use of force training from U.S. Army North, the military command that trains and directs troops. At this point today, both the Oregon National Guard and the California National Guard continue being in limbo, which is what Tina Kotek said during a press conference yesterday. We have no additional information from the Trump administration. That's very troubling. As Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard for Oregon, that's the situation we have been in. And that situation will continue. It's gonna be more. It'll be Minneapolis soon. I won't have to raise money to go anywhere. I'll just be going downtown. He's gonna do it to Minneapolis eventually. They did a probe earlier in the year. That was a probe to see what would happen and like how it would work out. He'll try to activate the Minnesota National Guard too, because of Tim Walz is our governor. That's why. That's it. So latest with this. So the Trump administration has been given the green light to send the Oregon National Guard into Portland after federal appeals court on Monday overturned a lower court's order to bar the deployment. But there's at least one more legal hurdle to clear before there will be boots on the ground. After considering the record at this preliminary stage, we conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority. The 2-1 ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Monday had said. Thank you so much. Have they ruled on whether you can shoot howitzers over the interstate? I haven't seen that one yet. You don't like a $250 million 24 gold carat ballroom? Nah, I'm not into that. Appreciate it, lefty. No, I don't need that. The ruling, supported by 2 judges appointed by President Donald Trump, overturns a temporary restraining order issued by U.S. District Judge Karen Emergut, who last week extended 2 orders blocking the mobilization of federal troops to Portland. It also marks a big win for the administration as it continues to battle over Democrat-led cities over troop deployment efforts that local and state leaders say are a disproportionate response to protests against the administration's immigration enforcement crackdown. He said, I imagine when people stop attacking ICE agents, he will stop sending in the National Guard. You are cooked. You are an idiot, and you should go outside. Absolutely not. This is all part of the Project 2025. This is going to happen no matter what. No matter what. This was part of the plan. National Guard, militarization, taking back the reins of government, all that's martial law, all going to happen eventually. Martial law, like, probably won't happen until now. Well, it could happen in the midterms to try to stop people from voting in the midterms because it's looking really bad for, like, what happens with Mondami is really important for, like, the Democratic Party. and like the optimism for it, and like people that would be like, oh, if Mondami wins the election in New York City, now people will look at progressives in all elections, which are obviously a change in the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is not keeping up with the times, and the old politicians have to go. They got to go in the Democratic Party. It's got to be younger visions. The same old, same old. They haven't done shit. They've gotten those old ass Democrats got Trump twice in office. They haven't done anything to fight against him. Biden took power and did nothing to hold Trump accountable. Fuck that. So it needs to be, I'm hoping Madami wins, and then the Democratic Party can hopefully shift more left, actually progressive, and start winning elections. And then there will be more optimism for people to show up. There is no fucking centrism in this. The Democrats have to run for progressives and the left and liberals. Well, the center left, not liberal. They can't run a campaign to bring conservatives in. Like, the conservatives are gonna have to make a tough fucking choice. Like they are gonna have to do, and it is what it is. But the Democratic Party has to campaign and provide policies for people that are gonna vote for them, not for people that like have to be forced to. Because they're like, I guess I'll vote the Democrats because MAGA is so bad. Like, no, like, you give them actual policies and like things, and then you'll get more people to vote for you. It's crazy how that works. So Trump and MAGA did. Trump and MAGA are giving them everything they want, which is nuts. It's psycho shit. It's absolutely nuts and psycho. But MAGA is over there like, yes, I voted for this. Yes, I voted for this. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I can't believe this is happening. But the Democrats need to do that. That's what the Democratic Party needs to do. Not play fucking centrism. Stop that. That shit's so stupid. Can't stand that actually now. I used to think that was cool, but nah, that shit's dumb. That shit's so dumb. Until we get more parties, and then the centrists can have a party for themselves. But you're gonna have to fight for that. You're gonna have to get a rich person to fund a party for that. I hope it would be. I hope, you know what, in a weird way, I don't want Elon closer to the government, but him really starting a new party would destroy MAGA. It would absolutely fucking destroy MAGA in like every single way. So that could be interesting. But like, I don't want Elon anywhere near the government again, even though he's still connected to it. But so it's tough though. It's tough. You want another party, which we all do. We want multiple parties, or at least a change in the two-party system. We're gonna need a rich fucking person to fund it. And that's gonna suck, whoever that person's gonna be. At least as long as we stay in the system of government. We'll see, I guess. But for now, if Mamdani wins, which I'm hoping he does in New York City, I will have more optimism for the direction the Democratic Party could take if they learn the lesson from New York City, which that's what they have to do in order to win. You can't fucking do Chuck Schumer, Fetterman ass politics anymore. You just can't do it. Just can't do it. Nope. I mean, they will. They will, but it's like, you want people to vote for you. You're going to have to actually provide policies that you will act on. Biden did a little bit. He did a good CHIPS Act, good infrastructure bill. But like, we need healthcare. We need to enact that. We need free healthcare. We need proper taxing on the billionaires. We need to make sure that rent is fucking affordable. That's more local politics, though. People gotta vote in local politics because our rent continues to go up without getting anything new. I gotta pay like my next, if I re-up on this lease, it'll probably be like $2,000 a month, and like nothing's really changed. It's a good place, but that's insane. Anyways, the ruling overturns only one of the two lower court decisions to block the National Guard deployment of the National Guard in Portland, and because the second decision is still in force, troops can't immediately be mobilized. The restraining order blocks the administration from mobilizing the National Guard troops from anywhere in the U.S. and Oregon. The administration argued on Monday evening filing the second order should also be overruled, given both lower court orders relied on the same legal reasoning. So you still got a legal battle. They're active, but they're not deployed yet. They're not in the streets. Like, if I went there, you wouldn't see them out there. They're not out there yet. I'm very troubled by the decision of the court. Like I told you guys, Kodak said in a news conference, the citizen soldiers have been pulled away from their families and their jobs for weeks to carry out some kind of mission in Oregon. If the second temporary restraining order is revoked, it is unclear when troops would be deployed or how many would be federalized, Kodak said, citing a lack of communication. So, the sole dissenting voice in the three-judge appellate panel came from Judge Susan P. Graber, who's an appointee from President Bill Clinton. Today's decision is not merely absurd, it erodes core constitutional principles, including sovereign states' control over their states' militias and the people's First Amendment rights to assemble and to object to government's policies and actions, Graber wrote in her dissent. Echoing Graber's sentiments, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield said in the statement, today's ruling, if allowed to stand, would give the president unilateral power to put Oregon soldiers on our streets with almost no justification. Rayfield asked the Ninth Circuit to act swiftly and throw out majority's ruling through an en banc review. What does that mean? What is that? What is that? I don't know. I don't legal shit, dude. So an en banc review is a rare legal proceeding where a case is heard by all or a majority of the active judges of an appellate court rather than the standard smaller panel of judges. The term en banc is French for in bench. Okay. So then that's the larger panel of the 11 judges. Okay. Separately, Ninth Circuit Judge Monday afternoon asked the court to vote on whether the case should be reheard en banc. While a request is not unusual, it's more common for either plaintiffs or defendants to request such a hearing. Attorneys for the state and the Trump administration have until midnight Wednesday to make their arguments. Oh, we're going to find out by midnight Wednesday. Stay tuned. So by we'll know by Thursday if I'm going to Portland. If the National Guard isn't activated and in the streets, probably not. Probably just kind of hold back here and kind of just stay home. But obviously, if the National Guard gets sent there, then we're going to go out there. So we'll find out midnight. So Thursday morning, we'll know if I'm going out there to see what the hell's going on with the National Guard. Protests in Portland against the White House immigration policies started in June with a declared riot and arson arrests in midsummer. The scene was largely calm until Trump declared in late September he was sending 200 Oregon National Guard to the city, which is why I went to Portland. Administration officials have characterized Oregon's biggest city as a war-ravaged and uncontrollably violent, which Kotek and other leaders in Oregon have emphatically disputed. Kodak on Monday said in court that the situation in Portland is nowhere as extreme as federal officials portray it to be, and she's right. And she'd be right. It is. I mean, it's ridiculous. In a letter sent Friday to the Defense Department Office of Inspector General, a group of senators, including those from Oregon, asked for an inquiry into recent deployments of National Guard troops across the country. The senators argued that deployments were dangerous, unconstitutional, and also straining military readiness and resources. Obviously. We urgently request that you initiate an inquiry into the cumulative effects of these domestic deployments of U.S. active duty troops and the National Guard over the objections of state and local officials on military readiness, resources, personnel, and our military as an institution. Like, what is even the military? What is their mission now? Okay, what does this mean for other states? Trump's success in Oregon comes as the same day officials from Illinois and the city of Chicago, which I also went to and covered the protests there, asked the Supreme Court to block the administration's emergency request to keep National Guard troops in that state. The filing notes there is no rebellion or inability to execute federal law in Illinois, arguing the administration hasn't met legal requirements to activate troops over the state's descent. Okay, W Illinois then. No protest activity in Illinois has rendered the president unable to execute federal law, the filing says, describing protests at the ICE facility in Broadview near Chicago as small, manageable by local authorities, and having never hindered the continued operation of an ICE facility there. So not a win in Illinois. That's why I didn't bring that up. Everybody's mad about that. Oh, is he mad? He's probably mad. The filing addresses constitutional concerns that the federal government is pressuring Illinois to use either its own National Guard to carry out the Trump administration's priorities or let federal troops take over, stating such coercion is independently unconstitutional. The Monday filing comes after Trump on Friday urged the Supreme Court to allow him to deploy the National Guard in Chicago in an emergency appeal against a lower court that blocked the deployment of troops in the city. Yeah, that temporary restraining order is set to expire on Thursday. The ruling, the administration argues, improperly impinges on the president's authority and needlessly endangers federal personnel and property. They're going to keep fighting this. The Trump administration is going to continue to hammer the courts with legal battles the whole time, which tells you that their end goal is to do this without any fight. And just Trump wants to send the military, activate whatever uniformed, whatever he wants. Put any right winger that is a MAGA in a camouflage and like arm them and then send them to go and grab brown people from places of their employment and like ask them if they have papers or not, which has happened to U.S. citizens so many times that it's not being hyperbolic. They're grabbing brown Americans and they're like tackling them and actually detaining them, and then only to find out that they're an American citizen. And like the person's like, I'm an American citizen. What the fuck are you doing? Get off of me. Get your hands off of me. The whole time. That has happened countless times already. One time is too many, but it's happened countless now. So it's not being hyperbolic. I'm not lying when I'm saying that. That is happening. And that's not justifying them grabbing immigrants either. Not just because they're Americans. Like they shouldn't be grabbing immigrants like that either, at all. If the president's determination is reviewable at all, such review must be extremely deferential. The administration told the Supreme Court, pointing to recent decisions from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that endorsed the deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles and Portland to address similar violent resistance to federal immigration enforcement. In Tennessee, they're doing a yes, please, we'll do more for you, Trump. Now, all the red states are going to bend the knee. If you live in a red state, you're just going to see the Guard in your state. No problem. The U.S. Army, National Guard, they're just like on the street. We could go to Memphis, but I'm not seeing, they're just standing around. Like, we go down there and check out the situation when it gets a little colder here. Governor Bill Lee's deployment violates the Tennessee Constitution and state statutes, which allow the Guard to be called up only in the event of a rebellion or invasion. So you got internal Tennessee legal battles are trying to, but the red state governors are like going to voluntarily do it. Just like Abbott in Texas. And he's like, yes, Mr. President, I will actually you can use my National Guard wherever you want. Send Texas up to Chicago. So cooked. So that's where the actual threat of the Civil War could be, is like when you have southern states governors sending their fucking militaries into northern states. Oh, weird. So weird. It's so weird. I don't think it'll be over like MAGA and non-MAGA. It'll be that type of shit. It would be that literally. And Trump sparking the flame and Russia funding it. It started Trump using Venezuela as an excuse to start a conflict in South America. Yep. They want a conflict in South America though. Mexico and down. They want a conflict. They want down. There's so many resources down there. Think like an American government person. Yeah, so many resources down there that America doesn't control. For sure they do. And they can justify it with all the hatred of brown people. Hard to see. If you support Ukraine, you saw how that shit worked. That's just how America is. And if you don't see it that way, you better learn. You better figure it out. Why did Ukraine get fucking nothing? But yet here you got the United States blasting little speedboats in the fucking ocean with the full weight of our military. and we're just doing it. Not even, we don't need to call a meeting with Europe or any of our allies or Mexico or any of the South American countries. We're just doing it. So there's resources down there, and there's obviously in the right-wing propaganda, you can direct hatred at immigrants coming from these countries, which a lot of right-wing MAGA will obviously, they'll just be like, oh, it's justified. This is like the source of like the problem. This is where the fentanyl comes from. This is where these illegals are coming from. And like that, they'll be able to justify it in the propaganda. They can't justify Middle East war. Nope. That one gets too much pushback. They already sampled that one. They prodded that one too earlier in the year by taking out Iran's nuclear capabilities, I guess. Sure. And then that got serious pushback from everyone. Everyone hated that because they're like, wow, another Israel war. Here we go. While Israel's committing genocide themselves. So everybody hated that, MAGA included. So Middle Eastern war, probably not, other than we'll see if they're going to ethnically cleanse Gazans. And in Palestine, we'll see if that happens with our military. But you can probably sell the propaganda of a war with the South America and Mexico because of all of the right-wing propaganda that already exists to prepare them for this. They're already about how fentanyl is destroying our country and the immigrants are destroying our country. And then when we already have the border militarized, like they already have that shit. They have the military down there. They're ready to go. They're ready to like invade Mexico with how much they're building up on the border. They already want to go in and fight the cartels directly. Like they want to use our military, go into Mexico and fight the cartels. The Mexican president's like, whoa. And plus, then guess what? Then we'll actually be fighting a proxy war with Russia because Russia will be supporting Mexico in that fight. Okay. And then you're going to it's going to be a fuck fest and it'll be so stupid. But guess what? That's likely where we're heading. And why I'm saying that? Because we just continue to see speedboats getting blasted every fucking other day now. And also all the propaganda in the right wing is prepping them, or it has been prepping them for a war with South America and Mexico forever. Like they'll be fine with it. They'll be like, yeah, hell yeah. Finally. And then you're going to have a situation, it's going to be so fucked here because it'll be like the 9/11 effect where anybody that was like Arabic or Middle Eastern was like hated. There you go. And it's going to become now MAGA if you're like, because if we go to war with the South American countries and Mexico, like this administration clearly wants to, it's going to be Americans themselves, like these MAGA fucking Nazis that are going to be doing it, that are going to be going after brown and black people if they look like an immigrant. I'm not playing. I'm being so serious. I am being so dead serious. You already have them out there fucking with protests like that. They're gonna go up to any brown and black person that looks like an immigrant and ask them where they're from. What kind of American are you? They already got the meme. And then we already see what happens to anti-war protesters and how that goes, because there's going to be a lot of anti-war protesters. So, and you're going to be labeled as anti-American. It's all, just be ready for it. Just expect all of it. It's happened before. We're just living it again. Foreign terrorist enemies operating in our hemisphere will be destroyed. Let's see. Why is the U.S. sinking boats off Venezuela? There was someone survived, I think, off of one of these attacks on the speedboat. Trump's Venezuela operation expands in the dark. U.S. military has killed at least 32 people in 7 strikes off the coast of Venezuela without telling Congress or the American people who was killed or why are we even doing it? Oh, because of the drug dust. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Like, just be ready. Don't be shocked. Don't like if Biden did this. I fucking hate that now. I hate that when I hear somebody say Obama did this or Biden. They're not. This is Trump doing it. Okay, and they're doing it, and it's gonna get worse. I wish I could tell you it's gonna get better. It's not. It's not. So you need to buckle up, okay, and just be ready to go out and protest, or like just find resiliency, you know, find a hobby to try to continue to do. But it's going to get worse. War is likely going to happen. They don't just rebrand the Department of Defense to the Department of War for the fuck of it. And like I've told you, they've already prepped the right wing for all of this to happen and them to justify it and be okay with it. Middle Eastern war? No, everyone hates that. South American war? Oh, well, they're poisoning our streets with fentanyl. Look at little Susie. Now we're going to go take out those evil cartels. And a lot of people will be fine with it too. You're gonna have normies that like hate Trump that'll be like, oh, took out the cartels at least. I mean, fuck. And that's what's gonna validate it all. It's gonna validate a lot of shit. It's gonna be fucky when it starts. Then also you have our own National Guard in our own cities too. So you're gonna have a domestic issue with the National Guard, and then you're gonna have a war likely with South America, with Venezuela and their allies. And then you also have Trump enriching himself at the same time. And it's going to be so fun. But all of this was foretold. I'll just mention it every day. All of this was foretold. Okay? All of this is like the slowest train just coming at us. Just like, here we are. And then there's just like the train. It's like a meme of like how slow the fucking train was like coming. And it's like, golly, man, MAGA's still there. Trump is their leader. Boy, hey, we gotta just whatever that we can prevent from this fucking train from coming. But it was the slowest train. But now the train is like, now we're like getting pushed by the train. It's not running us over yet, but it's like up against our arms, and it's like the train is pushing us now. It'll pick up speed soon. Yeah, we got that. Thank you, Danky. I showed that a little earlier. You got Scooter Caster out there in New York City. Olia's out there showing the protests right now. I said in New York, should we tune in? There might be some. Is status quo out there live? Is there any feeds up of New York right now? Is status quo usually is out there? Oops. No, not yet. Anyone know of any ice? Anyone know anyone that's live in New York City? That would be a tough one. That'd be a lot of logistics to go. If I go ever cover New York City protests, I'm just like in the city. You have to be like in the city. Going into it and out of it would be tough. You can only find Fox is live. Oh boy. Is it like Fox News? AP? I think AP's live. I would have seen him on the feed. Let me see. Type in New York City protest. I'm not. Damn, dude. Yeah, but if it's not status quo, I don't know who else would be live out in New York City. Used to have, is Mark Apolloa still do streams out there? Man, I didn't make it to the East Coast at all. I don't know any East Coast streamers really. Other than I know, oh, you guys can. Olia's out there. But she's not a streamer. She does clips. You guys can see the protest go live now. Fox. We can have it up for a couple minutes, but it's super. Oh boy. Oh, they have a sky cam. Okay, there's a sky cam.
Okay, Christopher. Okay, folks. Get one more shot here of Foley Square and Federal Plaza as we begin to make our ride back to New Jersey. It's that time for us to go get some fuel. Get one more shot of the.
Might be 100 protesters out there. Novisty is live. That's right. I forgot about Novisty.
Okay, Chopper.
Okay, now he's watching what we were. Why do you guys do that to me? Why do you guys do that to me and give me streams of streamers? I'm not doing a Inception stream of watching a stream. He's doing what we're doing.
Okay, folks, as we begin to leave Lower Manhattan,
So that one's so fun. That happens all the time, though, so I can't get mad for real. That happens every single time, like, some breaking news happens. Chatters innocently recommend a stream, and I'm like, okay. And then it's a streamer doing what we're doing. Looking first. And I'm like, oh. It's like, I mean, you're just trying. I appreciate your efforts, though, with trying to find a stream. That one happens. That's a classic, though. That's a classic chat move. Classic chat. You said Nick Shirley's on the ground there? Oh, God. No, he's a Fed, so we got to see what Feds are doing. He's not on the ground. He's not live, though. Yeah, he's not live out there. He's not live anymore. I don't know. I don't think there's any feeds on the ground in New York City. You got Aaliyah, who's out there. He was early. The protest is mostly over. Oh, he was out. Was he out there live on the ground? Yeah, he was out there in the raid that we got from Aaliyah here. People had gathered after the ice was seen out there.
He's ice out of New York. No, he's ice out of New York. 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 He's ice out.
For all, by the way, also if you're a subscriber on Twitch, I added all of the emojis now, and I also updated emojis on YouTube. Or I added some new ones. I haven't seen you guys using any of them. I have them though. I'm doing stuff in chat. I'm doing stuff for it. You got that one. That one will make that. This one will make them mad. I try to add as many emojis that would try to make them mad as I can. So that one will definitely trigger them. This one will make them mad. We got a Renegades emoji now. We got the T-Rex. Yep. Check your emojis. Yeah, I put Medi in there. Yep. There you go. New emojis for members, and the same thing on Twitch. But on Twitch you can make them spin and shit. You can make the emojis move. So I try to add the same ones. It's all there. You need a crapping jet. Any other emojis you guys can recommend that'll trigger the fuck out of MAGA? Like, because they get into our chat. You guys haven't had emojis really to fight back at them. So there you go. I haven't given the proper tools. Okay, so Amanda Moore posted this herself. 9 minutes of the worst. What else do we need? Any recommendations? The more, I'm not trying to be cringe, but the more members we get, the more emojis I can add. Okay, then same with Twitch. Actually, Twitch, I get more emojis in like in December, I think. I don't know. I maxed them out though. They're fully maxed. Maximized emojis. Same with the Antifa emoji. Yeah, it's already in there. Yep, I put that one in there too. Yep. And then you got the Antifa frog. Some of the emojis though come standard in your guys' emoji pack, so I had to add emojis that aren't in your shit, that aren't in your Android or iPhone. So I appreciate all your guys' support, so we can have even more emojis during those streams. Okay, so anyways, Amanda Moore, written journalist, was out there doing clips as well, and here's her 9 minutes of video. Thank you for following. There's 9 minutes of video here showing you guys what it's like outside of the ICE building in Portland. Protesters hit them with bubbles. Okay, the bubbles are out. Thank you, Chris Black, for following on Twitch. You said, "Oh no, not the bubbles." Hey, Chris Black, thank you for subbing with a Prime, Twitch Prime sub. When am I going to Portland? We're waiting for the decision tomorrow with the courts. They've won 1 out of 2 court cases. They won the first one. They got to win tomorrow too. That'll reverse the TRO tomorrow night. They have until midnight tomorrow night. So maybe by tomorrow we'll see how late the Trump administration likes to just delay and do that. So they could literally wait until 11:59 and then be like, "We're fighting it. We're doing that." Thank you, Aqua Server, for following. And we got a hype train over there on Twitch.
Hey, be prepared. That is 2 around. Put on your vest. Stay out of the front. It's your asphalt or any other way you're going to hit it.
They even added smoke. Are they using red and yellow to make it look like fire? I wonder if they're using. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Brim Jean. Thank you so much. I wonder, are they using that? I'm moving this over here so you guys don't have your shit blocked. There you go. Perfect. So there you go. Hey, thank you for the 200 bits. That's fun. That's so much fun. I'm not gonna have it block the whole screen anymore though, my bad. It looks like they're using the smoke grenade colors to make it look fucking crazy out there. Thank you, Grin, for subscribing with Twitch.
Stay safe, bro.
Thank you for the 100 bits, Antifa activists. The Timu Nazi chant is funny. Sorry for the strobes, but it is what it is. With the orange, they're using the smoke grenades to make it look like fire and shit. There's no other purpose for the smoke grenades. They're not crowd control munitions or anything. They're just colored fucking smoke grenades. Yeah, all that's from the feds. All that is from the police. Thank you, Miro Shums, for the 2 months of Twitch Prime sub on Twitch. Thank you.
People live in these buildings, you piece of shit.
So just to reiterate, all of this is happening just so like somebody in a vacuum, or MAGA, because they're in a vacuum, they're in a simulated reality, so that when they're showed something, they're just prepped for propaganda. So when you're watching this, again, it sounds and looks like chaos. It looks like a war zone if you've never been to one, because a war zone doesn't, it might look like this because of the artillery coming in, but you would see people like getting blown up, and like drones would be coming in and flying into all these people, and it would be gruesome. So I don't want to hear that. But like, I guess if you've never been to a real war zone, like, I guess this is the aesthetics of a war zone. It's the concept of a war zone. There you guys go. Concepts of war zone. So you can sell the idea that, wow, this looks really bad and we need to send the National Guard to respond to this. That's what we need to do. We need to send them in. It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Antiva, for the 100 bits. And Powder Linux, thank you for the 100 bits. Is it bad I don't even react to flashbangs anymore? Like if you're not ready for it, then yeah, but like if they throw it out and I see a flashbang go off, I'm like, flashbang out. Okay. I'm so desensitized to this. Like the other thing I've noticed too is when the feds do this, the crowd comes back a lot faster or doesn't leave because they have proper PPE on. In 2020, this crowd would have been gone immediately because everyone was wearing fucking COVID masks and not proper respirators or like to breathe in gas and stuff. So like people are just getting scattered. And I'm noticing it in this time, people aren't like either one, not leaving. Like they're standing there getting tear gassed, flashbanged, and just standing there getting tear gassed and flashbanged. And then the ones that do leave come back really quick. Like they leave because they don't have the proper PPE on, and then once it clears out, they're all walking back. And that's different than 2020. Like, yeah, in 2020, people would, like in Portland, for example, they didn't leave. Like they were just getting gassed the whole time. But that was like Portland. You had to go to Portland for that. But like here, we're seeing it in Broadview. We're seeing it in Chicago. We've seen it in DC. We've seen it in LA. Like we're seeing it in more than just Portland. Because yeah, Portland was hardcore in 2020. Yeah, you had to be a hardcore person to go out there because you were getting gassed, and it was for sure. Kind of like these ICE protests here. There could be a night where nothing happens, but like in 2020 in Portland, you were eating tear gas, like for sure. Like that was a guarantee. And they were gonna flashbang the whole park and everyone involved. So yeah, Portland for sure. But beyond that, like the rest of the country wasn't really just standing there getting gassed. They would kind of scatter a little bit, and it would take some time again for the protest to kind of realign and figure out where everyone's at. And like then it would happen, but it would be a lot slower. Whereas I guess it could be just the geography of the layout too, because it is a little T intersection. Contrary to what the right-wing media tells you, this is literally just a T intersection, just to reiterate. I have this saved in case he deletes it forever, which I don't think he will. It's just too good. Nope. So it is just a T intersection. It is nothing beyond, and until ICE will go out and push protesters away, and they go well beyond their jurisdiction, which I've seen. But from here to there, and then to like right there, this is like the spot. This is the zone. And that's about it, right in there. I've seen one time when I was there, ICE pushed the protest. Then they did that. They pushed the protest over here. And they went all the way and took up all of Moody Street here. And then you got Tommy's little corner, and Tommy's little space is over here. And his little area where he does his little Twitter streams. But beyond that, the protest does not leave the confines of like in this right here. Right on Bancroft, this little T, and then like a little bit right there, and then people here. And that's it. That is it. That is the rhetoric about Portland as if it's a World War II, Vietnam, whatever they're saying. I don't know. It is so stupid. But it continues to remain in the news, and Trump continues to want to activate and deploy the National Guard there. Tommy's Island. Tommy's Island is crazy. You said at the PDX, the streets are cleaned up by the protesters. Yeah, the protest cleans up like the garbage left behind. Or they police their own little camp they have here. Like they're constantly like sweeping it or picking up plastic from their water bottles and other shit. And it's actually, things are neat there. It's more organized than my fucking kitchen. I just got shit gear on my chair and random shit all over the place. And it's more organized than my shit here. You see that the police are the federal government. It's hard because in Portland the federal government was going as hard as this or sometimes harder, because they were just in the crowd in the Justice Center grabbing people. They pull up in an unmarked van, but the local police is what was going way harder from what I've seen. The feds are out here doing this, but the local police isn't. In Broadview a couple times, you had the Illinois State Police come out looking like dorks, but then they just kind of like, they don't really do anything, but they're just out there. You got Colonel Owen acting hard, but they're not. It's different because in 2020 you had local and state police out there doing what the feds are doing right now, And the local and state police forces have kind of learned how to deal with protests now, and they're not so militant to them. Like right away, like if in 2020, and if you had a protest that big, you'd have the Minneapolis police around it. They wouldn't be gassed. There was lots of peaceful protests in 2020 that weren't fucked with at all. That weren't but the police were near, and they had the helicopters in the sky, and they were like all over it, but not really gassing them. But a lot of protests in 2020 were just met with force. Like the riot police were just came out because they saw a lot of people out there. And then a lot of local and state police forces learned, yeah, maybe we shouldn't make it worse. You know, maybe we should let them protest and let them get tired, which is the strategy that's kind of been employed at the local and state level now for the past 4 years. But you see how the federal government is, because that's the Trump administration telling them to just go free reign. 2020 Portland rioters trying to burn the Fed building down. That the building that would be impossible to burn down. This was Saturday. This was on Saturday, but this is what Trump is using now. They're using this one event from when the police came out and gassed and flashbang protesters for like 10 minutes straight, 15 minutes straight, it seems. They're using that as a justification now to try to get the National Guard into the streets of Portland. And they have a right-wing influencers that are in this crowd that are getting called out now, rightfully, that are giving the president the reason to. And Mr. President, please send the National Guard. Oh my God. Portland's out of control. No, the Guard won't be deployed until at least if they win in the court. There's still one more legal fight they have to win. Right? They won. Trump administration won one of the legal fights so far. They have another one that they have to file by midnight tomorrow. That they gotta put in, and we gotta see. So by Thursday, Friday, we'll know if the Guard will be out there. But they're not in the streets. They're on the Oregon coast, along with 200 California National Guardsmen. They're in their bases. Like, all they need is just the approval to go into the city and to start patrolling fucking Portland. But they're like at their bases, like just standing by right now. Okay, so that was 9 minutes, over 9 minutes of footage of the federal government flashbanging and gassing the crowd and putting smoke grenades into the crowd to make it look red and like there's fire happening. That's what it is. That's why they're using red and orange grenades. So that way people, and then you could probably do some AI and make it look crazier probably, which is what the president's doing.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please.
an appeals court recently ruled that you can send the National Guard in Oregon. Do you feel unfettered to send the National Guard into whatever city you want now?
Well, I guess so. That was the decision. I can send the National Guard if I see problems. I looked at Portland over the weekend. The place is burning down, just burning down. We weren't there. We didn't spend much time there because we were waiting for that decision. But the court probably maybe that influenced the court. But you look at a place like Portland, it's ridiculous when they say that there's no problem. The place was on fire over the weekend. But we won the case in Court of Appeals. I think it was the Ninth Circuit, so that's pretty good. And a very strong opinion that we have the right to use the National Guard. You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble. Well, that's how I got elected. One of the reasons I got elected. Yes.
One of the reasons I got elected. So yeah, Portland was on fire over the weekend. It was burning down, so the guards got to go. That's what he's saying. So they got a legal fight by tomorrow at midnight. Oh boy. Trump on the ballroom. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction in the back. You hear that? Oh yeah. Wow, dude. Reminds me of money.
And most excitingly, on the other side, you see the fence and the wall. We're building a world-class ballroom. For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom here. We don't have a ballroom. We have a little cocktail area.
Who wanted a ballroom at the White House? I have been Republican forever before 2020, and never a Republican said that. And I know for sure if Democrats aren't, there's nothing there for yeah, let's do a ballroom. The fuck are you talking about? They've wanted it. Who the fuck is they? Yeah, would Peter Thiel and your billionaire friends think it's a good idea? The Saudis love it. Who else? Elon?
Yeah, but we don't have a ballroom. The East Room, it's called, is a very small cocktail area. It holds about 88 people if it's tight. And I said, if I do this again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money. With the government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it, so it's the opposite.
All right, for sure. Yeah, I had to say that one.
But it's going to be one of the most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world, and it's going to be able to take care of tremendous things. When you have, as an example, I'm going to...
What a clown show. What a clown show. What? Checking in on Fox News.
Then you look at the KJPs, you look at the Joe Bidens, you look at the Kamala Harrises. They're all abject, pathetic figures. They're failures, and they had the media on their side.
When? When?
They failed. What does that tell you? An allied, slobbering media does you no favors. It leaves you as an incompetent, arrogant, entitled fool. It's like
Projection? I mean, Fox News? Hello? What?
like parents who spoil a child so much that that child has no ambition,
Right.
doesn't have to do anything, sits on the couch.
You're describing a Fox News viewer, for sure.
That's the Democrat Party right
Oh,
now.
okay. That's the Democrats, right?
Sitting on the couch, they don't know how to get up.
The Democrats were out in the streets, I guess. They can't get off the couch, but there's all the white people out, and they're all out of the nursing home, but then they're also Antifa, Hamas terrorists too. So the protests against Trump are at home, I guess. Democrats at home, but then there are also a bunch of white geriatrics out in the streets, and there were a lot of them. And then there are also Hamas domestic terrorists that assassins. Jesus.
couch. They don't know how to get up. Meanwhile, Trump, he's like the kid that the parents said, no, you got to work your way through school. When you're 18, you got to get out of the house.
Trump with a small loan of how many millions? Or like how many? Trump got a small loan of how much? What? Oh, it was a small loan of $1 million. You said Trump's small loan of $1 million from his father. It was more like 60 million. Yeah, Trump was for sure the one that, you know, had to work his way out of his parents' home. Parents kicked him out at the age of 18. Had to figure it out. For sure, definitely. Definitely, that's the reality.
So he gets out, he does, and so he has no favors. He's not expecting them, and he goes and he gets it on his own. And what happens? You have one of the greatest presidents you're ever going to see in your lifetime.
Suey eyes. He's got suey eyes. There's no light left in Gutfeld. The light's gone. Look at his eyes. Look at, whenever you hear a MAGA, look at their eyeballs. There's nothing there anymore. At this point, they are gone. This is no longer, this is a bot here. Eyes are gone. Cooked. Shut down higher premiums for you, swag bags for them. What? GOP senators return from the White House with special swag bags. I hate the word swag bag. That needs to stop all around. That word, that's such a terrible thing. That so many, I go to like a thing and then, did you get your bag of swag? I'm like, what did you just say? Can we not do that? But anyways, that's what the Republicans are getting. They're getting a Donald Trump red and gold bag. Nice. Who paid for those? You did. There's your tariff money. He said what he was planning pays total respect to the existing building. That does not really look like total respect to the existing building. Doesn't, does it? Kind of looks like he tore it up, huh?
He was definitely excited by it, though there was some reporting that White House aides did know that the optics of this was...
White House has aides for sure.
...really bad, especially because he had said that what he was planning pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. That doesn't really look like total respect to the existing building. So I don't know if his construction crew got a little ahead of themselves.
That's what you do.
Wait, Jessica, he's...
That's what you do? There's fucking clawing at it. Yeah, when you're tearing it down completely, I guess. But they said that it was just going to be the driveway and they're going to add on to it, not tear the whole fucking East Wing down.
working with the White House Historical Preservation Society.
Yeah.
He's not coming in and like bombing the place and putting up the Obama.
Yeah, he's not putting an Obama statue and blowing it up. See, that's Jesse Waters is doing the MAGA thing. Yeah, well, you know, they're not burning it down. Even though there was already a raid at the Capitol building, which is wild. I don't know.
The place and putting up the Obama presidential library, which is ghastly.
Listen.
Ghastly. Yeah, at least he's not putting up the Obama library there. Obama living rent-free. The ghastly Obama building. Fuck, bro.
Have you seen?
That was a Gunther Eagleman eating the banana moment there. The ghastly building.
Listen.
Have you seen that thing? It's a monstrosity.
Okay,
at least Trump has taste.
At least Trump has taste by gutting the fucking building for everybody to look at.
Come on. Listen, I understand that Mar-a-Lago is allegedly the height of style and...
This is what Fox News talks about. This is why why MAGA is like this.
Panache and glitz and glam, but he turned the Rose Garden into a patio that looks like you should have chicken tenders and fries on it.
Have you?
And now I can see.
No, but
I
you've
have
never
not been
been there,
invited.
so you have
what?
no idea.
Okay.
When I'm president, I'll have
What's wrong with chicken
Here,
tenders?
I enjoy chicken tenders. I have a 3-year-old. I'm just saying that the Rose Garden looked better before, and
Before it was a patio. Yeah, it had roses and flowers in it. Now it's a patio.
we have a bigger ballroom, maybe, but he wasn't supposed to do this, and he said that he wouldn't. But the big problem is that it's being funded by Donald Trump and also donors. Some of the names we know, some which we don't. And Donald Trump has been profiting off of the presidency, left, right, and center. His kids do it too, with these deals all over the world.
Crypto scamming. You can just focus on crypto.
You profiting from that?
Well, he's gotten. Well,
It's for the White House.
It's for the White House.
You don't know what kind of influence he's selling by having people come there. That's what happens at Mar-a-Lago too. It happened at Trump International.
So you should have taxpayers pay for it.
Yes.
Shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be a thing. How the fuck is it a thing anyways? Why are you building a ballroom? Why is that even happening? That shouldn't even be happening.
No, he shouldn't do it. Or
Then he can't do it. Just say he doesn't. Just say you don't want it.
You don't like it no matter what he does, Jessica.
Maybe.
Yeah, Jessica. Yeah, Jessica. As we look into the camera, the Fox News propaganda, where they put it used to be Juan. Jessica's the new Juan Rivera, where they have the one lib on there, so that way the propaganda makes them look like they're in the minority. Russia does this too. This is a Russia state media propaganda style too. Everyone that agrees with the dear leader, and then the one dissenter. And then when you watch it, you're like, I don't want to be like Jessica. She gets made fun of. I don't want to be Jessica. She's by herself. I want to be with Jesse, and I want to be with this loser and the 2 Fox News blondes. I'm with them. Yeah, I'm with the majority. And it's all a brain fuck. That's Fox News, though, and right-wing media. Yeah, Jessica is by herself. I don't want to be by myself. Anything else crazy from Trump? You all remember the campaign buttons that said vote for Trump and he'll deploy the military in your city? It was in the weeds. Today, Twitter is full of neo-Nazis who are sneering from behind their pseudonyms, celebrating the White House being torn down because they don't care about America or our history because they're neo-Nazis. From Stancil. Slaps roof on East Wing. You can fit so much Soviet spy hardware in here. Also, howdy, buddy. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for the 10. You can fit so many Russians in here. They're probably going to use the ballroom as like you can have all their MAGA content creators spying on everybody. Have like a bot farm in there. Okay, so Caitlin Collins asked him about the $230 million from the DOJ in response to investigations into him.
The New York Times is reporting that your legal team is seeking $230 million from your own Justice Department now in response to the investigations into you. Is that something you want your legal team to do?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't even talk to them about it. All I know is that...
Yeah, I don't even know. I have no idea.
They would owe me a lot of money, but I'm not looking for money. I'd give it to charity or something. I would give it to charity.
I would give it to charity.
Any money. But look, what they did, they rigged the election. And as you know...
So he's trying to... What she'll get, because obviously it's Pam Bondi's Department of Justice. So not only has he been enriching himself with his crypto schemes, with the tariffs, now he's going to give himself $230 million from the DOJ for saying that he was a victim of targeted political whatever the fuck. So there you go. There's another $230 million for Trump.
No, we had, in one case, 60 Minutes had to pay us a lot of money. George Slobodanopoulos had to pay us a lot of money, and they already paid. They paid me a lot of money because what they did was wrong. And, when somebody does what's wrong. Now, with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly. And any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
About my fucking ass. I'm a victim. Yeah, what charity? The Trump the Trump golf course, the left really handicapped themselves by policing away the F slur. I'd be, boy. It's a projection. Just think of it that way. Like everything that derogatory word and means is just a projection of like their actions, not the LGBTQ plus community. It's like what they say that is how they're acting. And I feel like it's good, but that's just how I feel. I won't use it. But just think about it. Think on it. Or not. Scootercaster posted a new clip. I'm not seeing any streams up. Now, anti-ICE protesters surround vehicles as they exit Federal Plaza ICE building in New York City following raid on Canal Street.
Gerald, you better ICE out of New York! 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 ICE out of New York!
You said, can you show us where the ballroom money came from? Private donors and Trump himself, he says. Probably the crypto schemes funding money. The best source for Trump's schemes and fraud and scam would be CoffeeZilla on YouTube. Like, he's on top of all of that. It's hard. I can't do everything. I try, but like we're really focused on the protest movement against Trump and the people involved in it, and it's just a lot to also track the money. And so I'm going to tell you guys, I think CoffeeZilla is a good source on that. Like, he's all over it.
ICE out of New York! 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 Smile, you're on fucking camera!
Yeah, he wants 230 million. Really quick, yeah, Trump. I have people asking about it now. Trump 230 million. He wants 230 million from the Department of Justice for being a victim. Where's critics attack Trump for wanting 230 million? Why is no other sources reporting on this? There's no like AP source or CNN reporting on this now? Mother Jones? I don't see any other sources reporting on it yet. This just came out. Demanding taxpayers hand him 230 million. New York Times reported Thursday. Oh, it's a New York Times report. Just came out. 5:47. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it just came out. That's my bad. I thought this came out earlier. That's what you guys are asking. Yeah. So Trump said to demand Justice Department pay him $230 million for past cases. Senior department officials who were defense lawyers for the president and those in his orbit are now in jobs that typically must approve such payout, underscoring potential ethical conflicts, obviously. So Trump is demanding that the Justice Department pay him about $230 million in compensation for the federal investigations into him, according to people familiar with the matter, who added that any settlement might ultimately be approved by senior department officials who defended him or those in his orbit. The situation has no parallel in American history, as Mr. Trump, a presidential candidate, was pursued by federal law enforcement and eventually won the election, taking over the very government that must now review his claims. It is also the starkest example yet of potential ethical conflicts created by installing the president's former lawyers atop the Justice Department. You think? I wonder. Mr. Trump submitted complaints through an administrative claim process that often is the precursor to lawsuits. This first claim, lodged in late 2023, seeks damages for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the FBI and special counsel investigation into Russian election tampering. He's going all the way back to 2016. Oh my God. According to people familiar with the matter, they spoke on condition of anonymity because the claim has not yet been made public. Yeah, this is just coming out now. This is hot off the press. It's about to, though. That's why there's no other sources reporting on it yet. Well, there is, but not a lot of them. New York Times. The second complaint, filed in the summer of 2024, accused the FBI of violating Mr. Trump's privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago, his club and residence in Florida, in 2022 for classified documents. It also accuses the Justice Department of malicious prosecution and charging him with mishandling sensitive records after he left office. Asked about the issue at the White House after this article was published, the president said, "I was damaged very greatly, and any money I would get, I would give to charity." Jesus. He added, "I'm the one that makes the," which we saw. That's why we saw that clip. He added, "I'm the one that makes the decision, and that decision would have to go across my desk, and it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. I can't believe I've been given such an opportunity." A bunch of idiots out here. Lawyers said the nature of the president's legal claims poses undeniable ethics challenges. Duh. Wow. Common sense is back. "What a travesty," said Bennett L. Gershman, an ethics professor at Pace University. "The ethical conflict is just," you know what, even the idea of Trump being able to run as president again in 2024 should have raised every ethical question ever, and he should not have been able to. It's insane he was even able to be president again. Like, even be able to run. Like, that is wild. Anyways. He added, and then to have the people in the Justice Department decide whether his claim should be successful or not. And these are the people who serve him deciding whether he wins or loses. It's bizarre and almost too outlandish to believe. The president also seemed to acknowledge that point in the Oval Office last week when he alluded vaguely to the situation while standing next to FBI Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and her deputy Todd Blanche. According to Justice Department regulations, the Department Attorney General, in this case, Mr. Blanche, is one of two people eligible to sign off on such a settlement. Weird. All the yes men. That's why all the people are fucked. Oh, that's why you're like, well, this person's not qualified. This person's not qualified. Duh. It's on purpose. They're not supposed to be qualified. They're just supposed to do what Trump wants them to. They ain't supposed to have no fucking qualifications. Wow, Pete Hegseth is a joke. He's a Fox News host. Yeah, on purpose. You think they need a competent person in those positions? No, they need to do it at Trump, Peter Thiel, and Stephen Miller want. And that's it. "I have a lawsuit that's doing very well. When I become president," I said, "I'm sort of suing myself." It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that lawsuit was a very, very strong, very powerful. It's a good lawsuit. Big money. Administrative claims are not technically lawsuits. Such complaints are submitted first to the Justice Department on what is called a standard Form 95 to see if a settlement can be reached without a lawsuit in federal court. If the department formally rejects such a claim or declines to act on it, a person could then sue in court. Still, that is an unlikely outcome in this instance, given that Mr. Trump is already negotiating, in essence, with his subordinates. Yeah, we don't have to go to trial. We'll just negotiate a settlement. This is so fucked. Holy. Compensation is typically covered by taxpayers, so you guys are going to pay Trump $230 million. As I say, us, I am too. We're all paying him $230 million, all of us. Two people familiar with the president's legal claim said that he has not been paid by the federal government, but he is expected to be. Yay, $230 more million for Trump. The second claim, accused by Merrick B. Garland, then the Attorney General Christopher A. Wray, then the FBI Director, and Jack Smith, the special counsel investigating Mr. Trump at the time, of harassment, intended to sway the electoral outcome. I can see it becoming so fucked that they donate this money to a MAGA thing and call that charity. Be ready for that. And then that'll embolden MAGA, obviously. Then they'll be like, Mr. He's using his settlement money on me. Wow. It's gonna just be ready for that. I'm just telling y'all. It ain't gonna be no, it won't be a charity that or whatever. It's just the idea is so fucked. And then to then have to give him like, oh well, he's giving it to charity. Watch what charity he gives it to. Watch what charity he gives it to. According to the Justice Department manual, settlements of claims against the department for more than $4 million must be approved by the Deputy Attorney General or Associate Attorney General, meaning the person who oversees the agency's civil division. The current Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Blanche, served. They'll give it to Erica Kirk. Oh boy, they'll give it to Turning Point, and oh god. Wow, and then they can claim that it's for Christianity. Oh, geez, that's what if I was Trump, that's what I would do. Yep, that's what you do. You give it to Turning Point, and then you got a bunch of evangelical fucks that like grift on Christianity, think that that Trump is blessing their Christianity with his money, and they're gonna just have they're gonna have a fuck fest over it. That's what I would do. I'd give it to Turning Point. The chief of the Department's Civil Division, Stanley Woodward Jr., represented Mr. Trump's co-defendant, Walt Nuwata, in the classified documents case. Mr. Woodward has also represented a number of other Trump aides, including Mr. Patel, in investigations related to Mr. Trump or the Capitol riot on January 6th. A spokesman for the president's personal legal team said he was fighting back against the Russia investigation he has long denounced as a witch hunt and what he has called the weaponization of the criminal justice system by the Biden administration. The White House spokeswoman referred questions to the Justice Department, asked if whether Mr. Blanche or Mr. Woodward would have recused or have been recused from overseeing the possible settlement with Mr. Trump. A Justice Department spokesman, Chad Gil-Martin, said, in any circumstance, all officials at the Department of Justice follow the guidance of career ethics officials. In July, Mrs. Bondi fired the top ethics advisor. Nice. This is so sick. Yeah, they're bound to the career ethics officials. The career ethics officials. Gone. They ain't there anymore. They're out of there. Mr. Trump famously hates recusals. He complained bitterly after his first Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, withdrew from overseeing the Russia investigation that is now the subject of one of his demands for money, when Jeff Sessions recused himself. The Attorney General made it a terrible mistake when he did this, and when he recused himself, Mr. Trump said in 2018. He should have certainly let us know if he was going to recuse himself, and we would have used put a different Attorney General in. This was back in his first term. The Justice Department does not specifically require a public announcement of settlements made for administrative claims before they become lawsuits. If or when the Trump administration pays the president what could be hundreds of millions of dollars, there may be no immediate official declaration that it did so. So they're about to do that behind closed doors. They have to find out through a Freedom of Information Act request by a journalist or something to find out when that happens. Even then, we're going, it's bad. We're in the bad times for them hiding things. Some former officials have privately expressed misgivings that the department's leaders did not reject Mr. Trump's legal claims in the waning days of the Biden administration. It has long been standard practice for civil litigation, including lawsuits against the government, to be paused until any criminal cases around the same facts have been resolved. Oh, what a dark article by New York Times just came out about a half hour ago about Trump enriching himself further with $230 million in retribution for all of the court cases against him. He's going to use his Department of Justice to do it, and it's going to happen. It will happen. He will get money. He will enrich himself. That will continue. The first time he can be held accountable for any of this is the midterms. That's it. Until the midterm elections come, and if the Democrats win the House, he's just gonna keep doing this. No, what's to stop him? What is there? There is nothing to stop him. He has full control of the government. The government's shut down right now too. Even better for him. Now he can really do shit without the government because it's shut down. So that will continue. And the first time that the government itself can stop him is in the midterms. And the House and the Democrats take back the House and start investigations and derail his derail Stephen Miller's policies, at least for the time being. They won't like end, but like they can pause them through House investigations, and they'll have a little power, a little bit. Not anything to like make some big change, but at least to literally be a roadblock. As long as the Democrats are unified in doing that, which they seem to be. We'll see though. It can get weird. What do we got? I will be withdrawing myself from Thursday's 8. What is this about? I don't know what this means. Appreciate the... What is this for? I don't know what this is. Trump's controversial special counsel nominee is in trouble. Jewish group withdraws support for embattled special counsel pick ahead of race. Oh, he's right. Oh. Trump nominee says MLK Jr. holiday belongs in hell and that he has a Nazi streak. Holy shit. Jesus. Okay. A little bit of a Nazi streak, guys. Just a little bit. Just a touch of Nazi. Which there's a issue with that on the left too now, which I'll talk about in a second. Which is weird. MLK Jr. was a 1960s George Floyd, and his holiday should have ended and tossed in the 7th circle of hell where it belongs. What the fuck? Looks about white. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Where your brain even come up with that? MLK Jr. was 60s George Floyd is crazy. And then toss him into what the fuck? How do you even like? You got to be a seasoned racist. You are for sure. It ain't no hyperbole. You come up with some shit like that, you are a racist. Definitely, not just wrong opinion. So racist. Nope, you are racist for sure. Using an Italian slur for black people, and Gracia wrote a month earlier, which, okay, I'm not saying that, but I didn't know there was an Italian slur for black people. Politico interviewed 2 people in the chat and granted them anonymity after they expressed concerns about personal and professional repercussions. One retained the messages and showed the text chain in its entirety to Politico, which independently verified that the number listed on the chain belongs to Ingracia. The person said he came forward because he wants the government to be staffed with experienced people who are taken seriously. The person has since deleted the chain and didn't recall specifics about it, but did confirm the discussions took place. Another young Republican here. A lawyer for Ingracia, Edward Andrew Paltzik, initially suggested that some of the texts were intended to be poking fun at liberals. Yeah, this is pokes fun at liberals. Definitely. That's what that's doing. Looks like these texts could be manipulated or are being provided with material context omitted. What more context do you need? Nobody just says this. If you're just writing texts that, like, I have group chats of dudes who are conservative but aren't MAGA, and they like when they do like they don't talk like this. They don't say just out of fucking nowhere, hey, I'm okay at 60s George Floyd and both of them should go to hell. The fuck is that? They just don't say that. They'll say like, they'll like have try to think of like a normie conservative. Like they'll just be like, like they were Tim Walz memes or something, or like a meme on Nancy Pelosi, or like their chosen Fox News political figures that they have to hate because Fox News tells them to. They're not like choosing black figures, like historically important black figures, and then using racism to say that they should go to hell by drawing George Floyd in. In reality, Mr. Ingrassia has incredible support from the Jewish community because Jews know that Mr. Ingrassia is the furthest thing from a Nazi. In a subsequent statement to Politico a few days later, Politzik called out anonymous critics trying to hurt Ingrassia. In this age of AI, authentication is allegedly leaking. Oh, AI. AI did it. In May of 2024, the group was bantering about a Trump campaign staffer who had been hired in Georgia and was working in an outreach to minority voters when Ingrassia suggested she didn't show enough deference to the founding fathers being white. Wow. No, deference, my bad. Didn't show enough deference to the founding fathers being white. Paul belongs in Hitler Youth with the Uber Gruppenführer Steve Bannon. The first participant in the chat wrote, referring to the prior military rank in Nazi Germany and the Republican strategist. Politico is not naming the participants to protect the identity of those interviewed. I do have a Nazi streak in me from time to time. Oh boy. Referring to white nationalistic Fuentes in the Live from America show the View video sharing platform Rumble, a second member of the group replied, new LFA show coming starring Nick Fuentes and Paul Adolf Ingrassia. Ingrassia wrote LOL. LMAO in response to that. In a statement, LFA founder and president Jeremy Harrell said the show despises Nick Fuentes and no connection either Fuentes or Ingrassia, though Ingrassia previously appeared on the show. Harrell said the reference to the LFA in the text chain is probably some kind of sick joke. What the fuck? The existence of the messages comes as Ingrassia's nomination to lead the Office of Special Counsel, an agency that investigates federal employee whistleblower complaints and discrimination claims, among other sensitive work, is already in trouble. Earlier this month, Politico reported that Ingrassia, 30, has been the subject of an internal investigation at the Department of Homeland Security, where he works as a White House liaison after a sexual harassment complaint was filed against him. That's common. That makes sense. Yep. That is how that works. These people and their actions, and that is usually one of them. The woman who filed the complaint later withdrew it and said there was no wrongdoing. Ingrassia's attorney denied the allegations. Spokespeople for the White House and the DHS did not respond to requests for comment about the text messages. In July, Republican senators delayed Ingrassia's nomination hearing, with one airing concerns about some statements about anti-Semitism. He goes, never trust a Chinaman or an Indian. Never. Ingrassia made other racist remarks, according to the chain. In January 2024, he wrote to the former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. That's what he said about Vivek. A month later, discussing why some Republicans feel that Democrats make black people into victims, the text showed Ingrassia remarked, blacks behave that way because that's their natural state. You can't change them. Holy shit. Yep. He added, according to the chat, proof, all of Africa is a shithole and will always be that way. And that's referring back to Trump using shithole countries in his first term, which seems like he said that not that long ago, but it was now at this point. Ingrassia at first remarked that the Georgia operative should read a book. What did he say here? So in May of 2024, starting the Nazi remark turned into serious. Should read a book if she's able to on George Washington and America's founding. Paul, you're coming across as a white nationalist, which is beneficial to nobody. When Ingrassia apparently said that defending our founding isn't white nationalists, that participant pushed back, saying Ingrassia reflexively went to saying whites built the country. And then he responds, they did. Nope. Big nope. They did not. Nope. Immigrants did. Immigrants and black and brown people who were enslaved to do so built the country. That's insane. The comment prompted the same participant to respond, you're going to be in private practice one day. This shit will be around forever, brother. Wow. Okay. Well, it's more of just like more of just young Republican shit. Trying to out-racist each other. How can we be more white nationalists? Hitler is good, actually. Average Republican take now. The average young Republican take is Hitler was misunderstood. I'm not kidding. There is no more old-timey traditional conservatism anymore. That shit's so done. That shit is so dead. It's so gone. It is Hitler was just misunderstood. That's it. That's where we're at. So you got a little issue on the Western hemisphere with something like that too happening. Not like that, but one of the politicians. You got Graham Plattner now, who he's running for Senate, I guess. And he was found to have a Nazi skull on his chest. What is he running for? He's running for Maine, Democratic seat in Maine. It's like, anyone that isn't, like, why is it just extremists? Like, is there anybody that can be Democratic that doesn't have a Nazi tattoo on? Let me find it. I have it bookmarked. Okay, I got that one. Okay, that one here. That's his tattoo. Where's I have a full video clip from it though, where he's interviewed. There you go. Okay, so here's the interview with it. Graham Plattner reacts to recently resurfaced video of him singing shirtless at a wedding and an opposition research attack alleging he's a secret Nazi.
Campaign move. Your team actually shared some opposition research on you with me. It's a video from, I believe, a decade ago. Let's just watch an excerpt and then we should talk about it. First of all, what we were watching there was Graham wearing just his boxer briefs, singing.
The Marine Corps Silkies. Those are Marine Corps running shorts.
Pardon me, Silkies. First of all, great song choice. Tell us what's happening there, where you are. There's probably some listeners who are very confused. And the reason that we are showing this video is because at the very end, you can see a tattoo on your chest. And I've been told that some of your political opponents are telling reporters that that tattoo has a Nazi affiliation. And I would like to know, is that accurate? Are you a secret Nazi?
I am not a secret Nazi. Actually, if you read through my Reddit comments, I think you can pretty much figure out where I stand on Nazism,
right,
and anti-Semitism and racism in general. I would say a lifelong opponent. The video is from my brother's marriage to his wife, to my sister-in-law, who I was serenading. I told them that my wedding gift to them would be my embarrassment. And so I performed a lip sync version of Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball to my sister-in-law on the day of her wedding to my brother. And now, of course, that embarrassment, which was mostly just held internally in the family, as we always watched that video at family events and laughed, is now shared with the world. So I feel like I'm just going to give them a wedding gift for the rest of my life. Which is great. I love them deeply. The reason, by the way, the reason of this video, Saturday was their 10th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congrats.
And
okay, the tattoo, the reason no one cares about if you were dancing. What's the tattoo though?
Sister-in-law was showing everybody the video. And I was like, oh yeah, there it is. There's me being embarrassed. But what we also, so in 2007, I was a machine gun section leader with Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. We were on the 2-2 Mu, and it was my 3rd deployment. My previous 2 had been to Fallujah and then Ramadi, 2006. And we went ashore in Split, Croatia, myself and a few of the other machine gun squad leaders, and we got very inebriated. And we did what Marines on liberty do, and we decided to
put Nazi tattoos on.
Go get a tattoo.
No, I mean, you can't lie. That's a Nazi tattoo. That is a Nazi tattoo. It's not just like in the military, you got like the Punisher and shit, and that like fascists have used that imagery, but obviously it's the Punisher, and like that's not. I don't think that's Nazi unless it's like an actual Nazi is using that. But like in general, the Punisher symbol is not. Like my fucking unit was the Punishers. And we had the Punisher logo as the 539th, a little fucking transportation company. It was so cringe. And then we had NCOs put the Punisher logo on their fucking vehicles. It was cringe. We're a transportation company. Calm down. But we were the Punishers. So, but like, obviously I understand how that can be used, but no, this is a Nazi tattoo. Okay. This is a very specific tattoo to go and use and go and put on your body for it.
And we went to a tattoo parlor in Split, Croatia, and we chose a terrifying looking skull and crossbones off.
A terrifying looking skull and crossbones
off the wall because we were Marines, and you know, skulls and crossbones are a pretty standard military.
No.
Military thing.
No.
And we got those tattoos, and then we all moved on with our lives.
No.
And I actually joined the Army after that, where I got, I had to go to MEPS. I got screened. Later on, I got a security clearance and a full screen when I went to work for the State Department as a contractor doing security for the ambassador to Afghanistan in 2018. And I've also just lived my entire life like a regular person with the skull and crossbones on their chest, which by that I mean taking my shirt off, performing Miley Cyrus songs in front of my extended family, and to my sister-in-law, and just take.
So, okay. No, okay. So I am not opposed to extremists reforming themselves. Like, that's cool, actually, I think. But the Nazis that reform themselves, delete that tattoo. They delete their tattoos. Like, that's the first thing they do. From what I've noticed from like reformed Nazis and extremists, all of their markings are covered up. They cover them up or make them something different. And then they are advocates and speak out about the extremism that they were a part of. And it's kind of like an addict. Like when you got a drug addict that is in recovery, they speak about their experiences and they speak about the drugs and what it did to them. They don't make excuses for it. This guy's making excuses for getting a Nazi tattoo instead of owning it. And like, why the fuck did you not cover it? Like, if you're a reformed Nazi, or a right-wing extremist, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Like, right-wingers put fucking shit on them all the time, like the idiots. But like, that's a very specific tattoo to use. And like, if you're a reformed right-winger Nazi, why did you not cover that up in the amount of time you had to? And then why are you not coming out and saying, yeah, I had some extremist beliefs. I was a part of the Marines. I got caught up in all, like, I'm just saying, like, fucking anything that's honest. None of this is being honest. I don't have a single tattoo. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I don't have any tattoos. I never wanted to put something on my body. I like people that have tattoos though. That's cool. If I ever got a tattoo, it'd be a sleeve. I'm just gonna go hard, like go all the way. But hey, yeah. I served 10 years in the military. Never wanted to put a Nazi symbol on my body forever. Never was. I was right wing, and I voted for Trump too in 2016. I got to keep telling y'all. I was right. I was full right wing. Never did I ever think of putting a Nazi symbol on my body. That's like beyond the pale. I mean, yeah, you could be maybe hammered drunk. The worst thing we did when I was hammered was we branded our body with a lighter. I was with a bunch of drunk Cav Scouts, and like they did this, and then they did that, and now I have like a lighter scar on my. It's still there. It's still there. Like, that's the dumbest shit I did. Never did we put a fucking Nazi symbol or wannabe Nazis, and like, that's so weird. And I don't like his response to this either. That's not good.
Taking my shirt off at the beach.
Right, presumably going to the beach, yeah.
I mean, I went to college. I went to the gym. I did all the things, and at no point in this entire experience of my life did anybody ever once say, "Hey, you're a Nazi." It never came up until we got wind that in the opposition research, somebody was shopping the idea that I was a secret Nazi with a hidden Nazi.
In the opposition research, you have a Nazi tattoo, and you know you do.
Nazi tattoo, and I can honestly say that if I was trying to hide it, I've not been doing a very good job for the past 18 years.
Because you thought you could live with it, and like nobody would say anything until now somebody has. Because now you're doing left-wing politics, and guess what? They hold people accountable there. It's hard mode. You've been living in easy mode, and now you're in hard mode, and have fun now. Because you want to be on the left, and they're not going to be down with somebody with a Nazi tattoo. You're going to have some that'll be like, oh yeah, well, Republicans are Nazis. So like this guy who isn't a Nazi, but like has a Nazi tattoo, and like make his excuses for it, like we need to use that against the other Nazis. And I'm like telling you, no, you don't. No, you don't need to do that. Actually, you don't need to do that at all. There's plenty of people like if you want to fight fire with fire, you should pick a communist. To be honest, like the fucking commies that are like ready to fight, like those ones. Probably not the Nazis that are like making excuses for it. Like if you really want to fight fire with fire, you got to pick commies. Like not this. Like if that's what you want to go for.
Yeah. So you're a self-described communist, but also a Nazi.
I will say the fact that I've managed to go from communist to Nazi in the space of 4 days, according to the people who are trying to do this to me, I find to be quite a spectacular turn of events. But
well, like Miley, you've got range.
I don't think so. I don't think he's got range. We'll see though. I mean, but according to a person who specialized with Plattner, who was living in Washington, D.C. more than a decade ago, Plattner had specifically acknowledged that the tattoo was a Totenkopf, which is the death's head symbol by the infamous Nazi SS unit that guarded concentration camps in World War II. He said, "Oh, this is my Totenkopf." I think that's how you say it. The former acquaintance told the Jewish Insider recently, speaking on the condition of anonymity to address a sensitive issue. He said it was in a cutesy little way. The exchange occurred in 2012 at Tune In, a popular dive on Capitol Hill where Plattner later worked as a bartender and was frequently patron where he attended the George Washington University on the GI Bill. According to the former acquaintance, he would often take his shirt off drinking with friends at night at the bar, and at least on one occasion he stated he knew that the tattoo represented. I like Plattner, but it feels like all you guys are just joining in on one big circle jerk where you're trying to convince yourselves that none of this is a liability and that Janet Mills is a cunt for even giving her state. Because it's tribal mode because of how bad the Republicans are. So people are going to be tribalist about it. They'll be like, well, they're going to, it's going to be, you're going to have to choose. Okay. You're going to have to figure it out. I don't live in Maine. We don't have Democrats with Nazi tattoos in Minnesota. So. Not my election to be concerned with, but that's bad. And you probably shouldn't have a Democratic politician with a fucking Nazi symbol while you're trying to fight Nazis. When you have whatever. Probably bad. We'll see what happens though. We'll see what the fallout is, I suppose. Looks like his posts are still doing fine. If we want to defeat Susan Collins, we need to try something new. The same old tired playbook will not work. You know what? You know how he could redeem himself is if he comes out and honest. You know what he should do? He needs to cover that tattoo up, but do it on video and like laser it off and like film himself lasering that tattoo off while talking about right-wing extremism and like what led him to that and be honest about it. Then he could redeem himself then. But even then, like, I don't know. Like you need, like at this point, you need to laser that tattoo off and you need to show everybody that you're doing it. And then you need to be honest about what led you to that. And then the influences that led you to putting a Nazi tattoo on your body. This is my post earlier. I made like one post about it. POV, Graham Plattner. The crazy world. I mean, we saw Antifa Republicans earlier in the year. You guys should have known like what we were getting into. All right, we're a clusterfuck right now. It is a clusterfuck going on out here. Shit's just all over the place right now. It's just crazy work out here. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. All right, what else we got? Well, that's my take on that. Yeah, bro. Yeah, just say Keith Olbermann. Yeah, bye. Okay, this was posted 17 minutes ago in New York City. I still don't have any streams, or nobody's tagged me in any live streams in New York City, so I don't think we have that. But we do have a clip of the protest against ICE.
I'm a member of the press. Hey, don't touch a woman like that. That's a councilwoman. Don't hurt her.
Thank you, Abature143, for the gifted sub as well.
I have the right to be here. I have the right to document. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Pussy. Hands off the press. Hands off the press, pussy. Hands off the press. Hands off the press. Hands off press. Hands off press. Hands off press.
Is Novesty actually live out there?
Hands off the press. Hands off press. Hands off press. Ice out of New York. Yes. Ice out of New York. Yes. Ice out of New York. 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 Ice out of New York.
Oh, that's he ran for mayor, right? Who is that? That's one of the. Oh, that's an official, right? Yeah, Brad Lander. Thank you, looked. Yeah, that was Brad Lander. Right here. He goes to ICE. He goes to immigration court with immigrants. Also, he was detained or arrested by ICE too for doing so. You said this is fairly recently. This is happening right now. Yeah, this is happening as we speak. Thank you, Mosey B, for following.
I got him. It's okay. It's okay. I'm getting 3 chances. I didn't do nothing. Yo, get your hands off him.
All right, turn around.
You just listen. Back away. This way. That way. Back away. Back away. Back away. Back away.
Guys, back up. Back up. Back up. Another one.
So they had an ICE raid on counterfeit bags on Canal Street today.
No one's trying to look at your ugly ass fucking face! Murphy! Oh, Murphy! You look like a shit! God damn, put on the mask, please! Please put on the mask! Are you
So the playback room is live. Playback room in New York City. We have a stream. A stream exists. You said Novelty is live on the scene. Yep.
I am on Reed Street on Broadway.
So you got East Coast protests after ICE raids in Chinatown earlier this afternoon.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, Albania. I don't understand. I said New York. I said New York. I said New York. I said New York. I said New York.
Just quick to update you guys on the poll, the final numbers. When you eat a banana, do you lick your banana spoon like Gunther Eagleman? 58% said hell no, 23% said no, 14% said hell yeah, they lick their banana spoon, and then 5% just say yeah, they do. The final numbers of today's poll. I haven't seen Status Quo out there. I did talk with John a little bit. We're looking at Portland, obviously, to go back there for the National Guard, but we won't get a decision until tomorrow on that. Thursday at the latest, but tomorrow. They have until midnight tomorrow, so it could be Thursday like we get the news.
All right, so you can see from now, we got a couple hundred protesters here on Reed Street and Broadway, New York City, Manhattan. They're here protesting against federal agents that were here earlier today, detaining a man.
I said New York.
You can see that NYPD is trying to govern and make sure that the flow of traffic is not being disturbed.
He's got his phone on his wrist. What is that?
Are going towards each four corners of the streets of Broadway. Nothing crazy has happened yet, no aggression. People just protesting. So far, earlier today, it did get a little intense.
Hey, we're protesting here. What to read? What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I have my second phone. That's why I said he puts it on his wrist. Because when I'm out there, I have my phone. I like kind of have it resting here. Like I put my hand here. It's comfortable. I got my hand on my phone. I'm just on my other phone that I'm streaming with, and I'm just kind of doing this and looking down at the chat while I'm streaming and talking to you guys. But the wrist could be a good idea. I'm trying to think how that would work. He's got like some Iron Man attachment on his wrist or something. He probably has like straps on his arm, or has it like his phone strapped to his arm. I'm trying to figure out how he did that.
Sorry about that. My bad, my bad.
Yeah, he's got like a pit boy on his wrist. He's got the phone implanted into his wrist. Yeah, they go different in New York. Cyberpunk City already.
Sorry.
He hit up the Ripper doc. Put the phone in his arm. It's an implant. Oh, I never thought. Could you use that? You could use the quarterback play call sheet, but it's like my phone instead.
There's another debate tomorrow. I am working till 9. Yeah, that's the one thing about my...
Hey, that debate's happening tomorrow, right?
What? Yeah.
Yeah?
Second
Okay.
debate,
So, yeah, okay.
Is that the last one? Because the election's next week. Yeah. Early voting starts next week. Yeah. Early voting first. Early voting starts next week. Almost gonna get lost.
All right, so you can go check out Novelty channel to watch the New York stream, but also you got to stream up in the playback room. Okay, so the playback room YouTube. I'm sure I'll put these streams in my Discord. You can join my Discord server just in case. I'm sure chat put them in there. I just haven't seen them. Protests. Sure looks like it. Oh wow. Oh what? Come on. No! I hate this. Click and drag the correct missing figure to complete the pattern. This is too much. What is that? What is that? An apple and then a car. These are so stupid now. I'm a human. I win. Look at that. There you go. I can get the wrist attachment. Yeah, I might need that. There you go. Hell yeah.
Kristen Ahmed, thank you so much for
Such a...
the direct donation. She says, "Be safe. Prayers for you." Kristen Ahmed, that means a lot. Thank you.
That'd be sick. I would like have it on the like. Then I could just pretend I'm like Iron Man or something. Yeah, I need that. I'll probably get that. $5 too. $5 is $5. Yeah, I'll get that for I'll get that for $5. All right. So if you guys want to watch the New York protests, go to Novelty or the playback room. And obviously Aaliyah's postings on her X account if you're still there. Oh no. We're gonna have to go to Portland sooner than later, y'all. Got Tim Pool going there. So they're gonna They're gonna make some shit happen. They're gonna make some shit happen no matter what. So that means we're going. All right, Tia, thank you for becoming a member for 25 months. Oh boy. Stay frosty. Don't come here without backup. These Antifa motherfuckers are crazy. Epic. All the Portland MAGA out there are so happy. Our king. Nick Sorter's boss. He's finally coming out. He's going there because Nick Sorter is becoming bigger than him. That's why. That's really what it is. He's not gonna Nick Sorter will probably have his own platform now soon that he can leave Timcast. Leave the Tim Pool sphere. So Tim Pool's going out there. Trump said the autism situation is crazy. What? He hasn't even met me yet. So stupid. Okay, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm going to be live on my gaming channel, so if you guys want to come tune in, we'll find out more on the Portland National Guard. And we're likely going there now, especially after seeing Tim Pool saying he's going. We're waiting on the decision from the National Guard. We'll hear it by tomorrow, midnight at the latest. And I'll keep you guys updated. But I'm going to be on my gaming channel. Come check it out. Mercado Gaming on YouTube. And we're playing Ghost of Yote Part 5. Thank you, Nondas, for my strap-on. Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you guys for the strap-on fundraising. I'll be able to buy it now, Nondas. Mercado Gaming on YouTube, guys. Come on and subscribe. Ghost of Yote Part 5. Games Fire. I want to keep playing. So spooky season can wait a little bit. We'll have spooky season in November too. I don't give a shit. It's spooky season out here in real life. So come over and watch Ghost of Yote. Game is so good. You're gonna love it. If you haven't seen it yet, come and check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the members, all the support on Twitch. Everybody, thank you. Tim Pool says he's coming to Yeah, I just looked at that Bushman stretch. I just pulled that up on Twitter. So yeah, likely going to Portland. I got to get paid though. My paycheck should come in tomorrow, and I could just get a flight. If you guys want to support, you can. Thank you to everybody that supported today on Twitch, on the YouTube, and the super chats, and the stickers, and the bits, and the bobs, and the stars, and all the stuff. Thank you so much for everything, no matter how you're supporting. The Buy Me a Coffee link, I'll probably get that updated soon in terms of a Portland support. Right? I don't have anything up right now because I'm okay for now, but probably just something by the end of the week if you want to support the journalism of it. I appreciate that. Don't feel obligated to do so. Just come and hang out over on my gaming channel. I'd rather have you do that and be a part of our community. Join the Discord server. Link is in the description. And if anything crazy happens, yeah, you can just come find me over on my gaming channel and come say hi. Have a good night, you guys. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.